Good day, my name is Sky, and I appreciate you spending some study time with me. I'm here to help you make money in online poker by teaching you key strategies and getting you to take action. So we're continuing the ultimate guide to Microstakes play this week. Episode number 2, we're talking about playing a tight aggressive game for Microstakes wins. Now, you might be super used to playing a very loose game, maybe even a loose aggressive game, but those kinds of styles are potentially causing you issues. If you are a losing player with the Microstakes, anywhere from 2 NL up to 50 NL, this is the episode for you. You're definitely going to want to take some notes, so whip out that poker journal.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
And go to the show notes page for a little bit of note-taking help, smartpokerstudy.com/pod450. And while you're there, at the top of the sidebar on the right, sign up for the How to Win Online Poker Workshop. You're going to learn the 3 secrets. In addition to this whole series of emails, or series of podcasts, learn the 3 secrets to become a standout winner in the Microstakes. Okay, without further ado, let's do this. Gambate! Alrighty then. A tight aggressive tag style of play, it makes money in online cash games, especially in the Microstakes, anywhere from 2 NL, the $2 buy-ins, up through 50 NL, the $50 buy-ins, and also in low-level live cash games. Now, a tag style means that you play few hands pre-flop, and when you do, you generally play them aggressively. Now, it's tough for many players, and you could easily be one of them, to adopt a tag style, and for many reasons. Maybe you've been playing for years, and you just can't help but limp into a pot or overcall with ace-king on the button. Maybe everyone else calls with pocket jacks to see the flop and hope for no aces, no kings, and no queens, so why can't you do it? Maybe everyone seems to catch their flopped gut shot by the river, and they're calling flops and turns for large bets, so you should probably call those large flop and turn bets with your gut shot as well. Or maybe you see the pros on poker streams or on WSOP, tournament, WPT kind of stuff. They defend the big blind with Jack 4 offsuit, and they end up stacking their opponent. If they can do it, you can too. You don't need this tag play. Now let's dive a little bit further into tight aggressive style. If you understand player types and preflop HUD statistics, you'll know that tag players, they often have a VPIP and PFR somewhere around the 15-12 mark, just in that range, right? Now, 15-12, 15% VPIP, 12% PFR, this means that they're voluntarily playing only 15% of hands, and they're raising 12% of their hands. Now, when I say they're playing 15% of hands, that means they are folding 85% of the time. Now, if you're right now in your head screaming to yourself, oh my God, folding 85% of the time, yeah, you might find it tough to adopt a tight aggressive style. However, this style, it's the best way for you to be a winning player at the Microstakes. Now, let me prove it to you with Flopzilla Pro. Go to the show notes page to see a few screenshots of the numbers that I'm about to share with you right now. So, as a tag player, let's imagine you are that 15-12 player. So you are VPIPing and playing on average 15% of hands. Now, that's 15% across all the positions, EP, all the way through the button and the blinds, right? Now, your Microstakes and those low-level cash game opponents in live games, they might play an average of 30% of hands, or even more, of course, but let's go with 30 right now. I want you in Flopzilla Pro, if you've got the program open, put a 15% range. Just type in 15% in the in the little box right there. Let the system build its own 15%. So type in 15% and then type in 30% for your opponent. Now, when you run those ranges, you're going to see that the 15% range has 56.2% preflop equity. The 30% range has a 43.8% preflop equity. That means that your tighter range is or has a 12.4% preflop equity advantage. And just imagine, casinos make millions of dollars per year on a 1 to 3% average. Your tighter range, 12.4%. It's going to be very difficult for all those loose Microstakes players to overcome that equity, that mathematical disadvantage that they have. Now, let's go a little bit further with this. let's imagine a situation that you encounter often. You're open raising on the button, and maybe you're using my KISS cash game ranges. So you're open raising with a 31% range. Of course, if you go to the show notes page, smartpokerstudy.com/pod450, you can download the KISS ranges, but you can also see a screenshot of what the 31% looks like. Contains most of the broadways, every single ace, all the pocket pairs, and 6-5 suited or better, and 8-6 suited or better. So pretty decent range right there on the button, 31%. When you open raise on the button, a lot of your fishy opponents, they can call you with maybe a 40% calling range in the big blind. Now, for the 40% range, I've removed pocket aces, kings, and queens because most of the time, those are 3-bet by most players defending the big blind, just because they're some of the strongest hands. Now, in this instance, your 31% open raising range versus their 40% calling range, you still have a mathematical advantage of 7.6%. Plus, in this exact spot, which you've heard me call the bread and butter spot before, you're in position against the big blind. Awesome. Mathematical advantage plus positional advantage. You're going to crush this player in the long run. Now then, let's take that same situation, big blind or button versus big blind, but let's flip the script. You're in the big blind now versus a button open raiser. A lot of your looser opponents in the Microstakes, they could easily open with a wider range. In the show notes page, you're going to see I give them a 41% range. All the broadways, some offsuit hands, every ace, every pocket pair, and a lot of suited connectors and gappers in this 41% range. Now, if you look at the KISS cash game ranges, in the big blind versus a button open, you are calling with a small 11.8% calling range. If you put these two against each other in Flopzilla Pro, you have that smaller range, and you don't have pocket 10s or better, nor some of the best broadways like ace king, ace queen suited, ace jack suited, stuff like that. So you don't have the strongest of hands, but you still have a preflop equity advantage of 4.6%. Your preflop equity with this tighter range, 11.8%, it's a 52.3% equity. Your opponent with that wide open raising range, and they do have the aces and everything, their equity is 47.7%. Playing that tighter range against your looser opponents, once again, even though you're out of position here, you have that mathematical advantage that they could use their positional advantage to exploit you, but at least they have to still try to overcome that mathematical disadvantage before the flop hits. So maybe some of you who are not currently tight aggressive players, maybe you heard what I just said and, oh, that sounds pretty good. I like having a mathematical advantage that my opponent has to try to overcome with post-flop skills and plays and everything, right? But you might still be kind of on the fence about playing a tight aggressive style. Well, your answer to the next two questions will, let you know if tag is right for you. So question number 1 is, are you a losing player? So I want you in Poker Tracker 4, take a look at your most recent 12-month, 1-year results up through right now. If you look at those results, and actually take a look at them monthly, right? January, February, March, each month. If you only turned in profitable months 1 or 2 times out of 12, these ranges are right for you. If we look at maybe you're profitable in half of the months, but totally, cumulatively, maybe your win rate is less than 0 and you have not added anything to your bankroll. Your bankroll is worse now than it was 12 months ago. If that's the case as well, tight aggressive is right for you. You need the KISS cash game ranges, which I'll explain a little bit more about those in a little bit. Question number 2, if you're not sure if tag is right for you, do you find yourself getting into too many tough post-flop situations? Now, here's the thing. Good pre-flop choices set you up for post-flop and overall poker success. So if you constantly find yourself in tough spots and you catch yourself saying things like, oh, I shouldn't have called that pre-flop, or you say something like, why do I keep limping with these hands? Then you probably need to learn and play a tight aggressive style. With those better pre-flop decisions, you're going to find yourself in less uncomfortable, less confusing, and less frustrating post-flop spots. Plus, you're going to find poker more fun and profitable. So I want to help you become a tag player with the KISS cash game ranges. And you can download these at the top of the show notes page, smartpokerstudy.com/pod450. There's a little form for you to fill out right there. Now, the ranges, they contain open raising, calling, 3-betting, 3-bet calling, and 4-betting ranges by position. Now, I'm not going to give you a full breakdown in this podcast of how to use the KISS cash game ranges, but I do want to give you 3 key pieces of advice in using the ranges. The first piece of advice is that there are only 5 positions in the ranges. The EP, cutoff, button, small blind, and big blind. So you might be saying, Sky, there's 6 positions in a 6-max, 9 in a full ring. How does that work? Well, in a 6-max game, the first 2 positions are both EP. You're going to use those exact ranges for EP and MP in a 6-max game, right? Then, of course, cutoff, button, small blind, big blind. All 6 are covered with that 2 positions for the EP. If you're a full ring game player, you want to use the EP ranges for the first 5 positions. And then, again, there is the cutoff, button, small blind, and big blind. So you have all 9 positions covered with these ranges. I called them the KISS ranges for a reason. KISS stands for Keep It Simple, Stupid. With less positions to consider, less ranges to consider, you're just going to be having simpler decisions to make. Now here's key piece of advice number 2, play the player and choose positive EV situations to enter. Now if you look at the KISS cash game ranges, you might actually have them right now. I have them laminated right here so I can use it anytime. Listen to this. That's me flipping around the laminated page, right? But if I look at the bottom of the ranges say don't follow ranges blindly. Choose your hands dependent upon your opponents and the situation. Strive for positive EV hand choices. So if a situation seems like a losing one, or you're facing potentially 2 really tough, maybe the 2 best players at the table, it's okay to fold the hand, even if it's included in the ranges, or make a different play, right? Maybe calling with Jack 10 suited is included in the ranges, but you think 3-betting right now would be better than calling because calling puts you in an ugly spot. Maybe calling will entice 3-betters to 3-bet after you, and you're just going to have to fold. Awesome. Skip the call, but choose now between folding and 3-betting. Right? The key is you're playing the players and you're choosing positive EV situations to enter. And the key idea here is that noticing and avoiding tough spots, that's a part of winning poker. The KISS cash game ranges, they literally only know 2 things: your starting hand and your position. I guess a third thing, actions made by prior players. They only know those 3 things. They don't know who is sitting at your table. They don't know your image. They don't know your stack size. They don't know their stack size. They don't know the bet size that you're facing from your opponent, a 2 big blind open raise or a 7 big blind open raise. The ranges don't know that, right? It's up to you to use that noggin of yours to put yourself in positive EV situations. Now, key piece of advice number 3, if in doubt, fold. And of course, when you're in doubt and you fold, you want to tag the hand for later review to remove all doubt. You want to understand that situation better. Here's the thing. You risk nothing by folding preflop. Even if you open raised and somebody 3-bet you, if you're not sure about calling, just fold. You're not risking any more money. That 3 big blind open raise, it's already out there. It's already a part of the pot. It's not your money anymore. You don't risk it by folding. But you risk everything by making poor calling, poor raising, and poor re-raising decisions. So of course, I recommend that you download the KISS cash game ranges. Read the directions on page 1. I gave you 3 key insights here into using the ranges, but the directions on page 1 of the ranges actually tell you how to use them. Then I want you to play your first tight aggressive session of just 1 or 2 tables. Just try to get used to the ranges for now. For additional insights into how I use the ranges, there's a 4-part series of YouTube videos on the show notes page. Once again, last time, smartpokerstudy.com/pod450. Play your first tight aggressive session and then watch the videos as you continue to play more tight aggressive sessions. Challenge! Here's my challenge to you for this episode, and I'm sure you saw it coming. I want you to download and play with the ranges for the next 5,000 hands. So I would recommend that you do nothing else for at least the next 5 days. Just play as often as possible with the KISS cash game ranges. If you want, watch those 4 KISS ranges videos on YouTube on the show notes page. But basically, no other studying. You're just getting used to and figuring out how to use the KISS ranges for yourself. As you're playing, tag interesting or doubtful hands for review. Now, after the 5 days, resume your studies, whatever they are, preflop, postflop, c-betting, 3-betting, whatever your studies are, but continue playing with the KISS ranges through the next 5,000 hands. Now it's your turn to take action and do something positive for your poker game.
Oh, that's it now. Get out there and be somebody. Go write a book.
Alrighty, go to the show notes page to help you take notes on everything you learned today. smartpokerstudy.com/pod450. Plus, you've got those videos right there for how to use the KISS cash game ranges, and you can download the KISS cash game ranges from that page. And don't forget, while you're there, take a look at the sidebar, the top option on the right. Click on that so you can get my free online poker training called How to Win Online Poker Workshop. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, take action both on and off the felt to become the player that you want to be.